Hi, and welcome to Rutland South Rotary Making a Difference. This is going to be our quarterly show where we talk to you about how Rutland South Rotary is making a difference both here in Rutland and internationally. Today we have Bill Mube here, who is our current president, and he's going to talk to you a little bit about what we are as Rotary and what we're doing. Good morning, Bill.
Good morning. Welcome.
So why don't you give us a brief overview as to what is Rotary?
Well, you know, when you wrote the questions out and you said you were going to ask me, what is Rotary? That was the most difficult question. So I tried to think of what I could say that might boil it down. So I decided that Rotary is a place where good things happen. Good people get together, you make good friendships, you have a good time, and you do make a difference. And it's good people trying to do good things. So that's about the best way I can try to capture the essence of Rotary. Okay. I can give you a couple of statistics because I did look them up. There's more than 1.2 million Rotarians around the world. There's more than 30,000 Rotary clubs, just like our Rotary Club in Rutland, and they're in over 200 countries.
Wow.
So it's a big organization that tries to accomplish an awful lot worldwide, as well as in our individual communities.
Awesome. So you're saying that we're also international and we're Rutland. What are some things that Rutland South does internationally?
Well, Rutland South internationally supports different groups that do things. I mean, one of the things that we do is we give money to the foundation which has gotten rid of polio. We are down to less than 6 cases annually, and that's all because of an effort that started with Rotary. So there's a huge, big international thing that most people don't know about Rotary. Internationally, we've had people that have gone to Honduras, gone to Haiti, gone to Africa, gone to China. We work in different places trying to make a difference. So there's an international component. Carolyn, my wife, who's been in Rotary more than 26 years and has been a district governor, she ended up working on a Rotary project that's now Pure Water for the World, that does work in Haiti and Honduras and is supported by many Rotary clubs all over the world for the work that they've done.
Awesome. And so this year we actually were able to host an exchange student, BIA. So can you tell it, you were the host for BIA, correct?
We have been the host for 9 exchange students, and the exchange program for kids is really wonderful. It works with outgoing students. Our niece went to Brazil and we visited her in Brazil, and there have been lots of Rutland kids who have gone all around the world. But Carolyn and I have hosted 9 different kids over that long period of time, including Bia this year from Brazil, who was our second exchange student from Brazil. Our first exchange student, George, came in the 1990s, and in fact, George came 2 years ago to visit us with his wife to sail on our sailboat.
Wow.
We've had kids from Finland, Germany, France, Thailand, Indonesia, and in fact, Carolyn is at the International Convention in Toronto this week, and she is visiting our exchange student from India who now lives in Toronto and has a business up there.
Wow, that's awesome. So definitely Rotary has a way of bringing international to Rutland and then giving that impact back into the world. So what else do we do in Rutland? Like, I know we do our annual fundraiser. How do we have an impact for the Rutland community?
Well, we have had a long history of doing all kinds of projects. You can look around and see the Rotary symbol at different places. I mean, when you come into the city, Rotary helps sponsor those signs at both ends of the city. You have Rotary Park. You have lots of playgrounds. One of the things that Rutland South is focused on are children, and we've made children our priority for where we try to give some of our local money and do projects. We also like to do hands-on projects. We have built playgrounds for Rutland Town, We'll probably talk about Northwest School,
Yeah.
but we've also built bridges up in Pine Hill Park. So we do those kind of hands-on projects, but we also try to volunteer in other places, like the Community Cupboard. We work in the Boys and Girls Club. We have volunteers that go and work there, as well as making donations from our fundraisers that we give to the Boys and Girls Club. We have been supporting Mentor Connector, and we have people that volunteer for Mentor Connector in order to try to interface with kids. We have for a long time had a program of providing funds to different schools in the community so that they can buy special computers or printers, which is what MSJ does. We have been giving money, we'll probably talk about our grants program, for books in some of the elementary schools because they don't have the kind of books or supplies, and budgets are tight. So we try to find a way to make a difference in those areas trying to help kids.
So in your tenure as president, one of the special projects that we did this year that was, I know you were very passionate about this, was Northwest Elementary. Can you tell us what we did at Northwest Elementary?
Well, what we're going to be finishing up this afternoon. And again, this is part of what makes Rotary special. Doing projects together, we all had a good time. I mean, people like to get out there, so finding projects where we can build things and do things is kind of important. So we will be finishing up today raking and putting the grass seed down, but what we started at Northwest School, and we went around looking for a project that we thought we could do a hands-on and make a difference and give something that could happen. And in fact, we got a district grant to be able to help fund it. Now, what we decided to do was build an outside classroom so that kids in the elementary school at Northwest can be able to go down and go on a path. They're going to be growing things, they're going to have water, they're going to use it as an outside science classroom, as well as letting kids be able to play on it. So we took essentially an old grown-up abandoned area and came up with a plan for this area, and we got it mowed down. Stafford worked with us. They built a building on the site so we could do it. We ended up putting in about 400 feet of path, which means we had to dig it out, we had to put gravel in, we had to put wood side on it. We covered it up. We put, they don't use mulch. You have to have special wood chips for schools, so we got special wood chips. We reshaped it. We built the equivalent of outside chalkboards, but they're not chalkboards. They're made out of wood so that they can hang things and teach the students there. We put in a balancing beam. We put in stepping stones for kids to do. They are going to be having, I expect, birdhouses. We planted wildflowers on the berm around the edge. So it is an outside experience for kids to be able to get outside, to be able to grow things and have a sense of the biology and nature and see things. And I will tell you, this weekend I was out working again, and there were deer there. There's woodchucks. There's more wildlife in that little area than you can possibly imagine.
That's
lots
awesome.
of birds.
So we're definitely, I mean, Northwest Elementary, we have, what, 2 elementary schools in Rutland that are the public school system. So that serves a lot of children. So a lot of children are going to benefit from having that outdoor classroom.
What we were told is there are 14 classrooms, over 200 students, and this facility, I expect, is going to be there for more than 15 years, and I think it is going to become a key thing for what's there. So it's going to have a lot of impact. As I said, we did fund it with a district grant. We got $1,500. We invested several $1,000s on the project. We had local businesses that gave us discounts on supplies. hauled things in. We got the use of a tractor. We had the maintenance department of the school system out helping us. It was a real community effort, and that's really what's special, is that we tried to find community projects that get the community involved and is positive and makes a difference.
Awesome. So another way that we impact the Rutland community is every year we get together and we give out dictionaries to third graders. And I know that some find books and may say, why are you giving out these paperback books to schools? Can you talk to us a little bit about the dictionary project?
The dictionary project is really something I enjoy. Now, I've only been a Rotarian for just over 3 years. So my wife had been involved for 20-some years. Rotary has been a part of our life. My best friends are Rotarians. The dictionary program I had heard about because Rotary has as a value literacy. We want to work with kids and improve literacy throughout the world and in our community. And Rutland South has for a long time for third graders provided dictionaries. And those dictionaries have meant something to those kids. The number of children at high school, when we were doing scholarships, I did interviews. We've stopped our scholarship program and gone to a grants program. But some of the students that we interviewed would talk to us about their dictionary, that they still had their dictionary from third grade and were continuing to use it. So every year, every third grader in this area gets a dictionary from Rutland South Rotary in order to be able to encourage them about words and reading and the whole thing that goes with literacy. And we go into the classroom and we talk to the kids, and some of the fun things are to ask kids to look up words and how to use a dictionary. It's amazing the words that they want to look up.
Yeah, the ones that they find. And then also, I mean, the dictionaries, not to go into so much detail on them, but they have more than words in it. It's almost like an encyclopedia for them, which I don't even know if kids know what an encyclopedia is anymore. But they can look up all the presidents, and I know this year in the classroom when I was in there, we showed them some state facts, and I know the teachers just love them, and they've a couple of the teachers that we talked to were incorporating them into their curriculum. So it's just another amazing way that Rutland South is impacting the Rutland community. So aside from community involvement, what does it mean to be a Rutland South Rotarian? What else do we do?
What else do we do? Well, we have started with our grants program, which is another thing. We have a major fundraiser, which is the raffle, which is a great big party. I mean, there are people who talk about the story of coming to our raffle and the excitement that gets generated, and we raise a significant amount of money because of that. That money is used in the community. All of the money for the tickets goes to the community. Some of the other things help support our organization itself, but all the money for the tickets goes to projects either in the community or in terms of supporting our international projects. We've started a grants program now where people hear about our grants program and make an application. We have an application form, we have questions that we want people to answer, and if they have a good idea, primarily schools, but other nonprofits have come in, Mentor Connector has come in, and other organizations, Parent-Child Center, have come in with grant requests. And what we're looking for are special projects. We don't want to fund the ongoing activities.
Right.
We want to fund something special and significant that will make a difference.
Something that may not normally fit into their operating budget, but would definitely have that impact on their organization.
Right. And we've had individual classroom teachers say, I could use $450 for books, and here's what I would do. And when we do give those grants out, and they're going to be used in their classroom for their kids, they are so appreciative that it does make a difference. So that's really become an exciting thing that we're starting to do, to be involved. But the other thing about being a Rotarian is we like to have a good time. So, we have our regular meetings once a week, where we have speakers that come in. Recently, we've had the mayor, we had the new fire chief come in. We have people who talk about different issues, the opioid crisis. We try to provide information that's helpful so that we know what's going on in our community and we know the people who are involved in the community.
I found that to be like when I joined Rotary about 3 years ago as well. And the reason that I joined was because I wanted to know more about the community that I've lived in my entire life. And what I had found is through the speakers that we have, I didn't realize is the resources that we have, the activities that we do, the camaraderie that exists in Rutland, Vermont. That made the biggest impact to me. So doing the community involvement is great, but having the weekly meetings and hearing some of the speakers come in, you'd be surprised what is actually happening in Rutland and you're just not aware. And what an amazing community we have.
It's special, but the other thing that we try to do, I love, after breakfast, we have a period where people get to brag and talk about happy things that have happened in their lives, and people share a part of who they are, and you get different insights into people that I enjoy. I enjoy celebrating, grandchildren and all the different things, anniversaries. Those kinds of things are good, and also the funny stories that are fishing stories, golf stories, you name it, whatever sort of happens, get shared in a way that's a lot of fun, and it raises some money for our organization, so that's a good thing as well.
And so we also have some thirsty events. So can you tell us about a couple of the thirsty events that we've had?
Well, the thirsty events means that you can consume any kind of beverage that you might like, okay? But we try to have a good time. Yep. And we try to meet once a month at least to be able to have a party. And we meet at different restaurants. We meet at people's houses. We do different kind of events to have a fun time because that's what we think Rotary's all about. And the more time you spend with your friends, the more you like it. And the turnout varies, and it's not about having to show up all the time, but it's about being engaged with the people who are your friends. A long time ago, Rotary used to be all about business connections, and things have changed and evolved. I would say that there are fringe benefits for business because I shop at all of the places where my friends are owners of the businesses. I bank at the place where I have people that are connected with Rotary. It's amazing how it sort of ripples in your life and becomes a part of your life in terms of who you engage with and who you want to be buying things from, working with, hiring, and then partying for our thirsty events once a month.
That's awesome. So if someone was interested in becoming a member of Rutland South Rotary, how would they go about doing that?
Well, we put a sign out. We meet every Thursday morning for breakfast at 7:30 at the Elks Club, and the door's always open. If you want to come and you're a visitor and you say you're a visitor, we'll try to make sure you feel real welcome. But the other thing is, we try to be visible in the community, and if you bump into a Rotarian, okay, I mean, we also did the ice carving, okay, I'll give you that as an example. Yeah. We did a part of the ice carving, and this year we did a playground for kids. I mean, we did a tunnel, we did a slide. When people see us, because we try to identify ourselves as Rotarians from Rutland South, if you think that that's something that could be fun, talk to a Rotarian. Ask us. We'd be happy to invite you, and find a Rotarian to be able to be your host, invite you to a breakfast, and if they don't invite you, you tell them that the club president is going to shake his finger at them because that's what we're supposed to be doing. is making sure that the more people we have, the better we're going to be.
So who would make the ideal Rutland South Rotarian? Like, we don't discriminate as to who can be involved in our club, so who would make an ideal person?
Well, I started off, you said, what is Rotary?
Yeah.
Okay? I said, good things happen. It's made up of good people. If you consider yourself a good person, whatever that means, and you want to give back to the community, you do want to make a difference, then that's the perfect Rotarian. It is a service organization. It's an organization that says service above self. It's an organization that has the four-way test, but the first thing is it the truth? And these are people that believe the principles of Rotary and live it. So if that seems to be something that would meet who you are, then anyone is welcome to come join us and see if they have a good time, make friends, and please become an active part of Rotary. I mean, we have members that have been there for 40 years. Mm-hmm. Yes. I mean, it's a wonderful, wonderful organization.
Okay. So is there anything else that you would like to share with Rutland community about Rotary?
Well, the thing that's important to me about Rotary is how it is much bigger than ourselves. I mean, you asked about the international picture. The fact that we've had exchange students, the fact that I have been in Haiti right after the earthquake, the fact that I've been in Honduras and took my sneakers off and gave them to a midwife so she could walk from house to house to take care of people, that's changed my life. I wouldn't have had that opportunity but for Rotary. Rotary has expanded my view of the world, has opened my eyes to a whole lot of different things I've never seen before or experienced or wouldn't experience. So I think that that's the biggest thing that I would offer. The exchange students have lightened my life. I mean, as I said, George came from Brazil to visit us. Our Finnish exchange student, we met in New York City. She now is head of human resources for a company in Finland, and she has 3,800 employees under. Wow. These are really great children that are involved in the Rotary Exchange program, and if you're a part of it, it does change your lives. So I would like to say that Rotary changes your lives, and you get a whole lot of good friends. So that's what's there, and you give back to your community in a way that I think is really, really important. Okay.
So, Bill, this is almost like your last official duty as president this year. He's actually our outgoing president. On Friday, we actually have the changing of the gavel, which is a dinner that we have every year. June 30th is our year end, so we welcome a new president each year. How's this year been for you?
Well, it's been great. The really nice thing, when I took over as president, I tried to get a co-president because I wanted to try to change some things. So I will be very actively engaged with April Cool, who is our incoming president, because somebody has to wear it, but I will continue to have active responsibilities in order to be able to make our grants program work, finding new service projects like Northwest School, and my activities with Pure Water for the World keep me always very, very busy in the Rotary world, along with my wife, who travels all the time. So I plan to stay actively engaged. This year has been a good experience. Rotary has a program, essentially a leadership program, because they understand that it is one person at a time. I mean, we have the starfish story, which is really an essence of Rotary. The starfish story is that there was a storm, there were thousands of starfish that were washed up on the beach, And a little boy came and saw them and started throwing back one at a time, and the guy went by and said, well, you can't make a difference, look at all of them. And the little boy said to him, well, for this starfish it makes a difference. And that set an example, and the town came out and all the starfish were thrown back. That's kind of the Rotary model, that it is one person at a time that you try to help, and it is one person in the organization, and if they can help you grow. So being a president of a Rotary club, you go to training sessions, it's paid for by the club, they support it, and you learn an awful lot about leadership and what it means to become a leader and help in your community. So that is a piece that most people don't understand. So being a club president has been a great experience, even for a guy who's been kicking around as long as I have.
That's awesome. So as we wrap up the show, I want to thank Bill for being our very first guest. We're going to be back next quarter, and we're going to actually talk to you about how you can win $10,000. So if that doesn't get you to want to come back, I don't know what will. But join us for our next show, and thank you so much for watching us on Rutland South Rotary, Making a Difference. Bye.